down. G'day guys, welcome to the stream. It's not scheduled. I was going to schedule it, but then I forgot to put the schedule in. So today, I think I'm just going to be following up from the previous stream on Wednesday, which was to sort out the Azure functions and why it wasn't returning an object. So today that's basically what I'm going to be troubleshooting. I'm not going to be doing much else. If I do have enough time, I might jump on PowerShell.org and have a bit of a look at that. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But basically today we're just going to be focusing on the Azure function side of things and see how we go. So let's get stuck into it. So first thing I've done is I've just recreated created a project that actually we can use to manage the function. So we've got app settings and all that, and we're going to be able to actually deploy it to Azure rather than having to go the other way. Actually copy and pasting in the Azure function, we can actually do it properly. So so obviously got my default run PowerShell command, sorry, the default function code. And this is the thing that I was actually looking for. So push the values to output bindings by using push output bindings. So that's basically when I ran the code, I realized this is what I was looking for. So what we need to do, I've actually got some documentation I'm also going to follow along with, because it tells me how to actually deploy it via VS Code. But so the first thing we need to do is grab our code. So this is our code here. Let's get rid of all this. Close all, and then we go back to our run. So this is obviously our run space. So we've got our binding parameters, so request and trigger metadata. Request is query, we've got query.name, yeah, okay. Status. Okay. Input bindings that are passed via the param block. Okay. Yeah. So that's request.query. Okay, I'm gonna have to play with this and work out what's going on here. Before I copy and paste that code, I'm actually just gonna execute this and work out how it's working. Oh man. Oh, should be yawning. Actually, I had a really good sleep last night. Deploy to function app. Okay. Okay, let's create a new function app. We'll just call it Brispug. Alright, let's deploy it. So that's actually really cool. Deploying it is quite easy. I've actually thought it was going to take a little bit longer. Hello viewer. Hope you stick around. So today basically we're just going to be working with Azure functions and fixing my code. I'm using the new Azure functions within the new PowerShell functions within Azure. So they've just released support for core. So that's what we're going to be trying to use, and I'm going to obviously try and move the existing code, what we had, which was from Wednesday's stream, into this function. So I'd already figured out that yes, to push an output, all I need to do is actually push output binding. So it makes a lot more sense now, which is good. So yeah, hope you stick around. So I'm thinking. Okay, that's created. Let's have a look at it. Okay, it's still deploying. Okay. I'm going to get a URL and I'm just going to have a look at this. Oh, probably need to focus on the screen, shouldn't I? There we go. to the log stream. Yes. This should have a pretty, like, Azure Functions are really good for logs. Like, you'll be able to, yeah, remotely connecting to them. It's just so like, it's so easy to do now. Alright. Okay, I should be able to deploy the function app. So why is my function not being deployed? Function app. So I'm thinking once this is deployed, I can at least run it, work out how this was working, and then from that tweak my code to run to fit it. So interact with query parameters. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Alright, we're deployed. I should be able to see my. Open up in Portal, have a quick squiz at it. Have a quick look at it in the Portal. Switch my tenant. Resource groups. Okay, what are we doing? We're going to the remote bot. Yes, this one. What is that? Okay. Yeah, it's in read-only mode because it's running from a package file. Okay. It's in read-only mode. That's fine. Yes, I know PowerShell functions are a preview offer. That's what I'm using! I'm just gonna send that, see what happens. Should actually be able to. Oh, we got disconnected. Okay, that's fine. Just kind of want to see what the default execution is, how it executes all those kinds of things. And then from that, because I've used CSharp in Azure Functions quite a bit, so moving to PowerShell is just a little bit different, but I just want to make sure that I get a full grasp of an understanding of what's going on there. Yeah, I'm hoping that this should be fairly straightforward. Okay. Oh, look at that. That's really cool. There's my trigger. Okay. Alright, let's try something. Let's switch to PowerShell. If I can find PowerShell. Why can't I open my PowerShell? Turn on. configured language. Why can't I open it? Ah. Because I'm in the wrong bloody area. Unexpected error occurred on the send. Okay. Are those query parameters? That's what I'm trying to understand. Interact with query parameters on the body of the request. Oh, they're query parameters. Ah. So if I just put a body in there, that should actually work. Go back to terminal. Body. Go 400. Should be allowed. Why is it not working? I know this is probably going to break it, but I just want to see why it's not working. Please pass the name on the query string or in the request body. Okay, we'll just pass the query. It executed, but we didn't get any output. Or did we? Yeah, we did. We just got a failure. Okay, so why is this happening? Yeah, that's fine. Name. Oh, okay. Request.query.name. .body.name. What's name? Can we have remote debugging? Is there remote debugging in this? Yeah, I don't think this supports. Thought this would have a capability to support remote debugging. G'day, how you going? Oh my god, really? You must Azure Function core tools. Alright. Okay, so yeah, we have so what I'm doing is it's a bit of an extension from Wednesday's stream, which what happened Wednesday was we were doing we're doing 101 PowerShell 101 with my friend, and what happened was we basically are building a remote bot. So basically what we have is we have our PowerShell local script that we can execute, which will hit a REST endpoint. That REST endpoint basically will put the script block, which is incorporated into the body. So PowerShell executed script block in the course of the body. That basically puts it into a database, which we can then have another on the other side another Azure function, which basically is able to pull that out and then basically execute that on a remote instance. So that's basically using that whole kind of automation approach to the outbound Azure automation approach to executing PowerShell. So you have your hybrid runbook worker, which actually looks at Azure itself using a 443 connection, and then basically maintaining that state to be able to actually receive incremental updates. So we're actually just doing it over REST for the time being, but basically it's just a concept where we actually want to be able to pretty much execute PowerShell on a machine remotely over the internet using a REST-based APIs and Azure Functions. So what's going on here is we initially built the function using PowerShell, the initial the old PowerShell preview, which I think it was just standard PowerShell, not PowerShell core. We basically ran our execution. That worked fine, but now it's it's not playing ball because we I don't know why, but for some reason basically we did a write output on it and it actually wasn't returning the body, so the body of the response. So we've basically just grabbed the new public preview of PowerShell for Azure, and basically what I'm doing now is I'm actually just kind of going through it and getting a bit of an understanding of how it ticks. And I'm basically going to move my existing code onto that and then give that a go. So I just want to be able to troubleshoot that today, get that sorted, so that when we come next Wednesday we can actually start writing the next core components, which is basically the recipient. So where we can actually poll for results. So basically we'd have a PowerShell script which would just do a REST get to a function and look for any sort of results in the database. If there's a result, then basically bring it back. If there's not, it's not. And then basically finally the final part would be writing the Azure function and the CSharp service to be able to actually execute PowerShell remotely, and obviously be able to actually have that service be able to talk via REST interface via PowerShell or via Azure function. So that's pretty much the lowdown. It's yeah. That's a little bit over my head, but I want to get more technical deeper stuff, etc. Yeah, no worries. I'm trying to like this is something like I've used C# Azure functions, like, so that's my bread and butter. But for the sake of doing PowerShell and teaching my mate PowerShell, we're basically trying to stick with PowerShell across everything. Obviously we can't write a PowerShell service in C#, but the concept here is to be able to actually to use the whole thing. And obviously for me it's a learning experience because I haven't actually used this type of PowerShell before, and it's just not the one thing I do love about. I really love about C#. Or when you're actually running C# PowerShell functions, there's got to be a way to do it in Visual Studio Code. I've just got to work out how to do it. Is you can actually run the instance locally, so you can deploy to Azure. But when you're actually testing and debugging your code, you can actually debug locally on your machine via like an emulator and an Azure function. Do your REST queries. It'll give you your REST URL endpoints via a console window, and you can do what you need to do, and then you can deploy. I did have some limited success with remote debugging, but it just was so time consuming, and just like it was just easier for me to basically debug locally and then basically deploy to the cloud, and then obviously deploy, do testing, and then commit. So but yeah, so this is obviously quite a learning experience. I'm even just trying to work out why I can't actually hit it. So if I do a quick invoke REST method here, if I go back to my terminal, which I am in, this is now not playing ball. Oh, there we go. Let's just clear that. So if we go to invoke REST method, okay, yeah. invoke REST method URI. So if anyone can give me some pointers, that would be awesome, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to get my head around this. So if I convert to JSON, like so, import, specify a hash object. So the body is test. Let's call it property. Actually, there's one thing I do like about this though, is that I do get the distinct impression I can actually specify in the URL parameters that, so I can actually define, this is actually something that I think is going to have major advantages over Azure Automation. So within Azure Functions, I can define, it looks like I can define within the request query of the HTTP header, custom ones. So I can basically define my parameters within that of my script, and then from that basically I can in essence trigger my script from that, rather than having a JSON object. So to provide a bit of comparison, when you're using Azure Automation and you're invoking via a webhook, you have to specify a specific body. Now it's JSON at the end of the day though, you know, it's only going to take 2 seconds to build, but in terms of like cleaner code, I think this is a better way of doing it, because basically if it's in the header, it's in the header. Like, who cares? You know, it's just making it a little bit easier to read and to be able to ingest. So anywho, that's, yeah, I'm a little excited about that, but I just want to actually get it working first. Why is that not working? Convert to object. Oh yeah, because I actually need to specify a property. I'm just going to call it property name. Okay, so that's actually done an execution. Underlying connection was closed. Unexpected occurred. Okay, so it's whinging about it. Okay, so to respond, we just use the type HTTPS status code. Yeah. So how long you been how long you been writing PowerShell for, or you trying to like you're trying to get into it, or yeah. So why is that? So if the name request query.name request.body, so what's request? Input key by parameter. Okay, I need to have a look at what these variables do. Oh, okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, it's actually I work in where I work in identity and automation, so I focus a lot more on an automation space. Yeah, nice. Self-taught coding, yep, nice. I work in automation. I basically actually got like, yeah, it's a really funny thing, because it comes back to a lot of we work with identity manager, and a lot of our code comes back to, a lot of our issues come back to just bad data. So we generally have issues like, so we joke about it that we're not DBAs, but most of our work always comes back to some sort of SQL query or some sort of SQL work we need to do. So yeah. So they're basic PowerShell, more database development, some basic self-taught coding. I feel like I've missed network and software engineering classes that are solidify things. Yeah, it's kind of funny though, because I started off in infrastructure. Like I'm same as you. I'm infrastructure bread and butter. So and I especially, like when I did my study, I did networking. And networking's kind of stayed with me. Like I was saying to the guys, and if you've watched my previous streams, like I do have a good understanding of networking and how it all ticks and behind the scenes. And I do have like a quite complicated networking at home, and I understand all the, all the acronyms and how to actually configure things. But at the same time though, like, yeah, coming into software engineering is like completely new for me, because obviously going from it, like I've come from that scripting side of things, and ever since the whole DevOps thing was mentioned, that we kind of we've translated, like infrastructure's kind of translated from, and development have translated from, two separate entities, and then in actually into a single entity. And it's actually really good, because if you from it like if you're a software house or you're doing any sort of development, one of the biggest things I remember was, and this is just like when I worked for a software house a very long time ago in infrastructure, was us deploying websites. And we just, like from an infrastructure perspective, we're like, yeah, we're deploying IIS, we're deploying this, we're deploying this. You've given me the web deploy file. You've given me some rudimentary batch script that I need to run to do things, and an infrastructure thing. But like while we did have some understanding, we basically didn't have like there wasn't a cross communication. And now with a DevOps mentality, basically there's a lot more connectivity with and interactivity between the two teams. So now you've got build pipelines and continuous integration delivery via VSTS and things like that. And so you're able to actually construct a better product, and obviously running infrastructure as code and things like that. So it's combining, I think, all the best attributes of infrastructure and code, and then basically making a product that basically is able to now deploy a lot more quickly. Now, I would say that there's advantages and disadvantages to that, but yeah. Anyway, I'm just quickly going to have a look at what input bindings. Okay. Oh, and using namespace system.no. Okay, that's fine. Input bindings, request triggers. Okay, so let's have a look at how do I get started? Function quick start. Yep. Have a quick squeeze of this. Okay. Oh, he is debugging it. How is he debugging it? Yep, done that. Those functions locally. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. Okay, how do I execute this? So, what do I need to do? Azure Function call unless it is a share code. Yep, debug your phone. Set the call wait debugger command into the function code before you attach the debugger. Then press F5. Ah, okay. There it is. This is the goodness of. I think we're going to be able to get our goodness. Do I actually have to install it in the function code? Do I? Set the function code. Oops. Oh, don't tell me I just closed it. Damn it. Alright. Let me just quickly go to my Slack channel, because that's where one of my colleagues linked it to me, and I haven't actually bookmarked it. So. And one of the things I love about PowerShell though is this is coming from the days of VBScript. Just so much extra content that and capabilities that it can provide. So and just be able to speed of development is so much better. No, I don't want that. Where's my quick start? Here it is. Yeah, it's wait debugger. Okay, I know what I need to do now. So what I can do here is just do this. Okay, do that. Yep. What do I do now? Okay, so put that in there. Yep, done that. Okay, hit F5. You must have Azure Function and Core Tools. Oh, Azure Function and Core Tools installed. Okay, how the hell do I install that? Function Core Tools. I think I do. Alright, off to Google. Azure Function Core Tools. Okay. Why is this not working? Did I copy it? Oh, I did. No, I'm just going to type it out. That copy. Just paste it here, see if it copied. Yes, that copied. Okay. Okay, I'm going to get it through Package Manager. Fun. Chocolatey. Do I have the .NET SDK? Pretty sure I do. Yeah, I do. I do have the SDK. Oh, no, I don't. I'm going to have to install that. Install Node.js, which includes npm. Oh, okay, so I'm going to install Node.js. never installed Node.js before, but it was a first for everything. I think as well though, I might have to rewrite this in .NET Core. I don't know if Azure .NET if .NET Core supports the SQL class. I'm gonna have to go have a little squiz at it. While I'm waiting for that, I might as well have a squiz. That's 5.1. Where's my .NET Core? That's 5.1. Okay, I need to go find. Well, I don't need to add .NET Core to it, but just do it right here for the time being. So if I go back here, and we got this is the original function I wrote. And I'm injecting some SQL. Oh, sorry, injecting some SQL. I'm running some SQL. So I need to validate whether this object actually exists, which I don't know. So it's always worth having a quick squiz in .NET Core. Haha, it works. Nice. Okay, perfect. So, that's really good news because if it natively exists, then that solves a lot of my problems. The biggest thing with .NET Core is that with Microsoft did away with all the really they basically just did away with .NET altogether and rewrote it. And basically Core is basically built it's built in a way that it allows it to obviously run on Linux, Windows, Mac, all that. But the biggest thing with Core is that they did away with so many classes within CSharp. So for example, when you're interacting with, for example, if you do a HTTP request, traditionally people will just use system.net.web client, things like that. You know, doesn't exist. Like everything is completely being done away in terms of the old stuff's gone. It's no longer there. So you got to be really careful with how you just can't just copy and paste PowerShell, especially if you're using custom objects and things like that. So it's always good to have a look at and work out what's actually oh, that's fine, perfect, and work out if it's actually going to work, because at the end of the day, though, I'll just put that to P drive because I don't want to fill my C drive up full of trash. Though Node.js isn't trash. While we're doing this, alrighty. So how long have you been doing database work for? Okay, so it's done that. Got that done that, okay. I'm just going to restart VSTS. Should have where previous left off, perfect. Okay, now I should have Node.js. I could have just used Chocolatey. I got Chocolatey installed. Oh my god, really? Really? my god. It's probably going to install all that anyway, but that's fine. I thought I had chocolatey installed. Can't spell chocolatey to save my life. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't understand why it's on chocolatey, but it's not on PS Gallery. Like, put it on the PS Gallery. That's where it really needs to be. Like, chocolatey is good, don't get me wrong, but it needs to be on. It helps if I can actually, yeah, it helps if I can actually type correctly. Alright. Apparently I don't have it installed. I thought I did. Oh, okay. Oh, I might as well install chocolatey as well. Installing chocolatey. That's what I mean, like you got system.net.webclient. Actually, I'm gonna have a quick look. Let's have a quick look and see if that actually exists. Administrative permissions. Okay, just run it from here. While we're doing that, let's have a quick squiz at it. What was it? System.net.webclient. I don't think this exists. It does. Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't think that class existed. Because I remember using .NET Core. Or, no, a CSharp application. Okay. Run Choco. Okay, let's try this now. Just bin these. Should I just install it? Hopefully. It doesn't work. Why is it not working? I feel like 90% of my code is troubleshooting. See Choco. Actually really annoying because it should just work, but it's not. Okay, so we've done that. Now I should be able to actually run my code. This should work. You must have Azure installed. I had it already installed. Oh, now I'm installing it for a third time. This is really annoying. Actually, no, I didn't because I. Yay! Now we're running. Sweet. Allow access. Yep, allow. Perfect. Yay! Up. Attaching a process. Current password is going for 6.2 and higher. Okay. Launch. Okay. Alright, so should be able to actually now trigger it, which is good. So if I jump back to my console, my actual it's a post, it's a body. Oh yeah, URI, that's probably a good one. URI. Okay, now it looks like we're cooking with gas. Oh, we are. Perfect. Okay, so executing. So I can actually hopefully be able to chuck some PowerShell functions. No. I should be able to actually now. Well, it's doing something. What am I waiting on? Okay, what's the documentation say now? Okay, yeah, you can execute a GET request from the browser. You can call HTTP. Okay. Alright, let's try that. Let's just actually use the URL. So Shift F5 and stop this. Stop this. Attach to code. Yes, okay. Debug. This is definitely different to what it is in CSharp, but is there a configuration? Yes, there is. Okay. Let's just try this. Okay, that's not going to work. Alright, let's start debugging. There's already a debug configuration. Okay. What am I doing wrong here? There's that. I don't think there is. Okay, I think I've fobbed something up here. Stop. I think the way that, yeah, just from what the code says, I actually don't put a body, I actually put a request query. But that doesn't define. Oh, okay, it's what kind of HTTP trigger is it? Oh, we won't know until we clean this up. Okay. There's nothing in there. Okay. Stop. This is much easier. Stop debugging. Okay, I think it's hung. Okay. let's restart code. Let's update it. Okay, you're finished. So hopefully, if I just start you, HTTP function processed a request. Yep, let's just go with it. See what happens. Unable to find type. Okay, but it's got your right debugger there. PowerShell. Oh, that's nice. Let's stop that. Script host errors occurred. Oh, this is from versioning issues. This is what makes the world go around with Azure Functions, is when you have version issues. I'm gonna bin it. Okay. What we got here? Current PS worker functional start. Yeah, should be fine. I think I've completely broken it, which is going to be fun to fix now. I'm going to restart code. Alright, let's get rid of that. Start code. Oh, SoundCloud's ads. Yeah, okay. I do think this is a little uninstall. No, I don't think I will need to uninstall it. But I don't understand why it's not actually. It's driving me bananas. What's he had in here? Integrate CSharp, so it's when did he have attached debugger? Okay, I'm just going to do that. Let's do that. Let's go debug. Just run it. That should. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. Oh, that's failed. That's this one. It should wait for the debugger, why is it not? Okay, something's not right. Yeah, that's what I've done. This is the crazy thing. It's just not playing ball. Right at the top here. Oh, okay, so that will trigger that. Okay, so we've done that. Now I need to connect to the debugger. Make debugger before you attach the debugger. Press F5 to wait for the. Oh, this is a pain. Oh. So what's it whinging about? Error code during activation, particular registration, interception. So this is Microsoft Access Proxy Handler. Oh, really? I'm thinking calling it a foul cause for today. G'day, Core Bob. How you going, mate? Oh, this is not a good day today. Why is this not playing ball? I think I might need to reinstall it. Okay, let's do that. Is there an upgrade? Having not the best luck today with Azure Functions. Microsoft just released Azure Functions for PowerShell, and I'm just trying to use it within Visual Studio Code, and I got it working once, and that was it. It's completely broken again. So this was, I forgot this was the thing I really don't like about Azure Functions, was it's just its finickiness when trying to debug it locally. Like when it was good, it's good. Like it's really good. It's just today is not my day usually. I actually want to, yes, I'm just reinstalling Core Tools because I think I've done something to it to break it. One of the things I found with Azure Functions as well is that your different versions do have different impacts. So if you go bleeding edge, it's just things that it won't do correctly. He tried to demo. Fantastic. Oh, that makes me feel better. Oh, it makes me feel so good now. Oh, the demo gods are not happy this lately, especially with the functions. But yeah. So my idea, one of the things I'm trying to do here with my friend, so this is kind of Wednesday's stream is PowerShell 101 with Michael and Christian, and today one of the things that we're trying to do is build a remote, like in essence it's Azure automation, except it's over the internet. So one of the things that we're basically doing is having an Azure function which basically takes a script block accepts a script block PowerShell, and then basically puts that in the database, and then on the other side we have a Windows service that will can execute PowerShell that polls another Azure function that can retrieve that. So basically being able to target machines and execute PowerShell on that. So there's actually a lot of reasons why I want it. One of them, there's a couple of personal ones, because Azure automation is just not being the best in terms of for performance for me, but other reasons is because we actually do need it. We need to kind of, we're exploring that for another system that we're wanting to build at work, which basically leverages identity and automation and brings them together. So I know Microsoft have actually just releasing, I think they're releasing something like that, but I do think this is just something that we're wanting to actually kind of pursue internally. So alright, let's pray to God that this works. Let's pray to the demo gods. Demo gods, please be good. Alright, that's enough. I'm not going to sacrifice a goat because I don't have a goat, so come on, wait, debugger. I should be able to just hit this and go. No! This is not what I'm wanting to have happen. What? I'm wondering if it's because I'm running in PowerShell and not PowerShell core. But it did run once. So yeah. Let's just have a good read of this. During the activation of continued registration, see in a section for details, registration, blah blah blah, proxy, yep. Error occurred during the activation of particular registration. Access to path. Could it just be that it's a permissions? could it be permissions? If it's permissions, I'm gonna be like not happy at all. But then I'll be happy because at least I'll be making progress, and hopefully I can actually troubleshoot my where was it? Actually, just can Control C that and have a look right up the top and see what it was complaining about. Program data, chocolatey library, Azure functions. So what permissions does it need? Now I regret using Chocolatey install it. They're like, yeah, you can use Chocolatey. I'm like, sweet, I'll use Chocolatey. And yeah, no. Yeah, no. I'm actually gonna try and reinstall this. See, it's there. Like, it's executing it. I think that's fine, but I think it might not have permissions to write to it. Is it because it's not running as an administrator? If it's that, I'm... Oh. Alright. Okay. Alright. I'm bringing out the big guns. Troubleshooting. Alright. I think I've installed 2 versions of PowerShell, the function core tools, and I think that's what's breaking it. Yeah. I'm in PowerShell Slack. We've got a PowerShell Slack BrizPug user group. I'll send you the link. I'll send you a Discord link as well. I'll just chat you to I'll just send a link to the awesome room, which is my really terrible Discord channel. Give me 2 secs. How do I create an invite? There we go, instant invite. Hidden, use copy button. Okay. I'm more asking if you're part of the unofficial ones run by Jaku. No, unfortunately no. I'm kind of out of the loop. I've kind of just started trying to get into it, but nah, not really. No. How am I going to chat this to you? See if I can chat this directly to you on Twitch. If I can jump on Twitch. I'll throw your Slack invite to our BrizPug group as well, because we're generally fairly active on that. We have a streaming channel in there. We have automation set up at PowerShell streams. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. I don't really. I'll definitely jump. Like, I'll jump on Discord if you send me the link. If you're okay with that, like, I can definitely jump on and we can obviously chat. That's fine. You can, if you chat it to me in Twitch, just whisper it to me. I can then join it. Yeah. Okay. Finish running command. Okay, if it's run, should we just actually? Yeah. I think. Yeah, I think I know why. I think I did break it. I did break it. Is that's not even English. I broke it when I actually ran. I installed Chocolatey, that was fine, then I ran it, it then broke. Because it might have multiple versions installed. Which is fun. Okay, perfect, thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely add, I'll jump myself on now. Join a server. Probably definitely Discord. Actually, to be honest, I'm kind of on both. But where's the teams, Core? Where's the teams, mate? PowerShell user group initially ran Teams, and it was like, don't get me wrong, Teams is good, but it's just like it wasn't mature enough, and I was like, oh, like I like Teams, I really do. Like we use Teams extensively at work, and I really like it. It's just it's not the best for it's not the best for our user group. We couldn't get all the features out of it, and we're having issues with people and just permissions getting reassigned, and yeah. Are you able to send me the Discord link? Because that's the I think I need an invite. Hang on, let me try and join this. Because it says join a server. Instant invite below. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need an instant invite. I can't just jump straight on apparently. But also, I might as well jump on Slack anyway. Actually, I'll do that later. I've really kind of got to focus. Kind of getting distracted. Unfortunately, I really want to be distracted here, but I really want to get this working. I don't like going to leaving something broken, so. Okay. Debug. Start debugging. Is this gonna work? Yeah, it works! It works! I knew it! Sorry, that was a little bit over enthusiastic and I just hurt my shoulder. But it works! I literally spent the last 30 minutes trying to fix this. Okay. That's my fault, guys. It's not anything to do. Like at the end of the day, Chocolatey did kind of stuff things up, and then I kind of went, oh yeah, just update, and then so. All right. Let's start debugging. This is my favorite part of Azure Functions is debugging, because when it works, it's fantastic. All right. So. Oh, something's locked up. What's locked up? What's my up and down's not working? Body at that. So how's your week been, Core? Auto mode. Okay. I just had the funniest thought. We got me and my colleague. I've got this. We got like gifts at work that we send to each other all the time, and we get to a point where we don't even we don't even send the gifts anymore. We would just say like what the hotkey is. So we're just like F2 and then like F3, F4, and I'm just like, yeah. I was just like thinking, I'm like, yeah, I'm a massive F2 right now. So I'm just gonna say property. And then we're gonna go convert to JSON. Just drop you inside of that. Hit enter. And then have a look at our process. Executing. Okay, so now if I go back to my. Okay, now I need to attach to it. I thought I attached to it. Oh, I've got to attach to it now. Let's pause. I know it's paused right now. Now I need to work out how to attach ourselves into it. Back to the documentation. Back to the documentation. Come on, your function code's already attached. Oh, okay. I don't actually even need to do that. I can actually stop this because I'm not attaching at the moment. can just Control C to stop you. Terminal reuse by task. Yep, that's fine. Okay, you're close. Cool. Get rid of that. Don't need that. I just want to see this run first. Okay, perfect. Alright, attach to a function. Execute. Now we're making progress. This is good. This is good. This is good. Alright. Okay, internal server error. That's, I think, is fine because the documentation basically was specifying he was using an actual, they were using URL querying, which that's fine. So that's going to completely break. Yes, I know. HTTP trigger. Is it actually executed? Helps if I actually did that. Ah. What's my URL? Looks pretty good. I added new features to my PS. Oh, nice. Hopefully I can get them shipped this weekend. I'm thinking spending more time on the VS Code, PowerShell, and insert command pane. Yeah, nice. Really cool. Yeah, I finally got my my internal project done, which is I'm very happy with, and now I've go to deploy it and it's running too slowly, so I've got to go back to the drawing board there. But I do have an article to write this weekend, which I've been procrastinating on. So, ooh, that's a big error. Script error occurred. I think this is going to need to run in core, but actually that should be running in core natively, shouldn't it? This has actually raised a lot more questions than it's answered, but at the same time though, at least I got debugging and local Azure functions, so that's a plus. History recon. Okay. I think this is because it's not running in core. I've just got this feeling it's not properly running in core. Unable to find type HTTP response context. You use this for responding within CSharp. I'm just quickly going to have a quick squiz. It's 4.8. That's HTTP response context though. That's a different class. I have a sneaking suspicion that's core. And I think it's not. I remember having the same issue within CSharp, but I'm just gonna stop it. Kill this. Let's attach a debugger to it. Have a play around.
Leave no music behind. Listen to your favorite playlists, albums, and tracks anywhere, anytime.
Okay, so let's rerun you. Okay. Oh wait, no. Yeah, attach the PowerShell function. There's already a debug configuration running. Where? Where is it running? Where is it running? Where is it? It's gonna kill it. Okay. Wow. Where are you waiting? Where are you? This is... I don't know where it is. I honestly don't know where it is. Okay, let's bounce it. This is interesting how it prompts for updates every time. I think it's actually not properly updating. That's what I think's happening. So if I F5 this and a debugger, I think this is going to fail. Oops, no, not that. Functions. No, that worked. Right, so I should be able to actually hook into attach to host process. Okay. I was going to try it. I'm going to break out the IC. Oh no, I didn't want to copy. I pressed Control C to copy and then I realized I just executed a shutdown. So apparently I didn't. Okay, so we're hooked in. But how do I attach? I think what I'm going to probably do is probably going to call it quits for today. But I do think I really like at the end of the day, what's driving me bonkers is the fact that I really want to actually see it execute, so I can get an understanding of how it ticks. I think I'm just gonna try this, see what happens. Just do a get. Attach. Nope, it's still launching. I think as well, if I Control C it and then end the process, it still thinks there's a process launched. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think this still thinks it's a process running. But it worked beforehand, so I don't know. Oh, no, I just didn't click the right spot. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, okay, so there's a 500. Enable define type HTTP response context. I think this needs to run in core. Well, what's the prerequisites he said? Because like I'm just going to go back to the Docker. Like at the end of the day, though, I think this is pretty much more of a learning exercise now than it is trying to get stuff done. So he said Chucko, yeah, that's that. So yep, pen the query, yep. Alright, well let's go get URI. Well, I'm not just going to do this, see what happens. Because at the end of the day, though, you know, we're literally just kind of trying to get something and trying to understand how it works. So let's just trigger that, see what happens. I think it's going to give us a 500. Yeah. Oh wait, it's a double that. Go to that. Yeah, it's a double. It's a 500. So I think. Stop debugging. When you call the HTTP trigger endpoint without passing a name parameter or a query parameter in the body, the function returns a 500. Well, we're getting a 500 internal error. You see this error occurs by design. Okay. So what's different? Get, URI, HTTP trigger, yeah. No, PowerShell. Yeah. Literally kind of grasping at straws at the moment. I don't think that's going to work because it's not a string. That's not a string. Okay, I think I'm going to have to play around with this a little bit more. I think I'm going to leave it there for today. Which is a bit of a pain because I didn't actually get anything done except learn about Azure Functions, which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because obviously I wanted to be a bit more productive. I think there's a lot to learn here, and that something's not right. Obviously, I've got the function executing, so we can see that that's running. But if it can't find this response context, it's either a .NET error. But I remember, like, this is the thing. I remember when using CSharp, you would use that class to actually respond back. That's a legitimate class. So I think what's happening here is there might be still some issues with Chocolatey. So I'm thinking I might delete that Choco instance, reinstall the PowerShell tool, see what happens, and then go from there. But I think even though it was a failure, we did learn a lot today, so that's the main thing. But yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the backside because I actually really wanted to get something more done on this. It kind of irritates me a little bit because I feel like, yeah, it's not as straightforward as it seems. Azure Functions never are. Like, the one thing I do love about Azure Functions is it's really quite, like, when you get them right, they work amazing. They're so good. Like, I don't get me wrong, I love functions. I absolutely love them to bits, but troubleshooting these issues is just like the bane of my existence with functions. So there was times where, like, you within C#, I would go to deploy the latest version of .NET Core. I've got the latest version of .NET Core, got all the tools, got everything. Go to deploy, it doesn't work because I'm running some version of something. A NuGet package is like the latest version of Newtonsoft would basically break everything, and I'm just sitting there basically trying to resolve package dependencies, and that's like the most frustrating part of functions, to be honest. Like, that's the thing that drives me absolutely nuts, is that, to be honest, you like test if you've got a deployment pipeline for this, functions is like, yeah, you really need to have obviously testing to be able to make sure that the deployment is like actually going to work correctly. So I think I'm going to leave it there today. Thanks, Cool Bob, for joining me. It's a bit of a shame that couldn't be really much more else done. But I think, yeah, I think it's still though it's a bit of a learning exercise. Yeah. Just want to quickly check something before I go. I was going to jump on PowerShell.org, but I'm probably not, because I do think I need to go do some other bits and pieces. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it there for today, and then we'll just pick that up another time. So, anyway, yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I hope to see you guys next time. Anyway, bye for now.